English is not my first language. Perhaps that qualified me as an international student here in the US. However, in where I'm from, the term international applies to those whose first language is in Chinese. Interesting cultural distinction, isn't it? 10 years ago, I first recognized the term cultural identity while I went to a trip in Europe. I spent a month in Germany and learned to say the phrase, Ich komme aus China. I come from China. I was surprised to the bread and butter served at breakfast, to the potato and meat for lunch, and pasta for dinner. There was no rice. And I had to eat with a fork and a knife instead of chopsticks. That was the first time I recognized the differences between my world and the world of someone else. After this first experience of somewhere traveling abroad, I began to travel more. I love exploring new ideas and learning cultural values from people from all over the world. Between the age of 7 to 17, I traveled across 20 different countries and 4 continents. I was able to discover different cultural values that influenced me and drove my values away from the Chinese traditional views. On multiple occasions, people will ask me, "Where are you from?" And after hearing my answers, they will respond, "You don't seem Chinese to me." I realized the influence that I gained from foreign cultures has drove my values away from what people expected as being the traditional Chinese standard. To many, the integration of different cultures, or globalization, is considered a destruction to localism and cause the loss of an individual's local identity. Such concern is valid, as I discovered through my own traveling experiences. But moreover, when I started to attend international school in southern China. Since 6th grade, I transferred from a Chinese local school to a school that consists of a student body and faculty members from over 5 continents and 50 different countries. There, everyone had a unique cultural background. Everyone was different. But despite the things that students learn in classrooms, they all share the qualities of being foreign to the locals. Luckily, the school was located in a city where I was born and raised, so I only needed to adapt to a new learning environment. However, for my friends who are from Brazil and India, they needed to adapt to more. The separation from their domestic culture and the influence of the local culture bombarded their cultural identities. Many of my foreign classmates found it difficult to trace their cultural values and identities while living in a foreign country. They are called third culture kids. A population that was raised in a culture that is different from the ones of their parents, yet unable to trace the identity of either. From the beginning of the 21st century, the number of third culture kids increased from 60 million to about 230 million in 2013. Yes, the more people begin to travel and move around to live in different countries, the more culture are being exchanged, influenced, and lost. The experience of culture shift truly hit me 4 years ago when I moved to the United States. Despite my many traveling experiences, studying and living abroad made me feel truly far away from home for the first time. Although I had many experience of learning in a westernized educational style, adapting to an entirely different lifestyle in the East Coast of America was quite difficult. As I interacted with my American friends, my friends would consider me reserved and distant, but not because I was shy, but because in my culture, overly expressing one's emotion was considered inappropriate. Moreover, I was amazed by the confidence and individualities that my American friends possessed, because back home in China, people were encouraged to be humble and blend in into the group instead of standing out. So I thought to myself, why not blending by standing out? And as I began to interact more with the local people, I realized despite the many cultural differences that we had more in common. When I was first invited to my Thanksgiving dinner, I realized no matter where people are from, we all enjoy the celebration for food. Who does not love a good Thanksgiving meal? More so, we value our families, even though we might get annoyed when we're forced to talk to our second cousin's child. It was the same for me back home in Chinese New Year. And such connections and familiarities make me feel less homesick. As humans, we all share emotions such as happiness, sadness, appreciation, and respect. And no matter where we're from, even though we might speak a different language, have different color of eye, hair, or skin, or prefer a different way to approach to problems, we are all humans who live on this planet, and globalization has brought us together, allowing us to compare and contrast different ideas and views that shape to a better world. There are many things that have only been enhanced through the integration of different cultures. Earlier the week, I've learned the phrase, 2 heads are better than 1. Interestingly, in Chinese, we have the exact same saying that prays to the effectiveness of collaboration. 三人行，必有我师焉. Through collaboration, artists and musicians are able to create work that are unconventional. Mathematicians and architects are able to solve formulas or build new structures through different perspectives. Researchers and technological developers are able to launch to new discoveries or medical experiments that benefit not only the one nation, but the entire human society. Today, the digital world further accelerates the process of globalization. We are able to easily grasp the news from across the Pacific through turning to the international channel on TV, or to communicate with our friend who live in a different continent via Skype or email. In fact, the organization TED was established through the sharing of innovative ideas across the globe. Countless beautiful creations has occurred through the integration of different cultures. And by viewing issues through multiple lenses, allow us to see problems and solve problems through different perspectives. Although cultural loss is an inevitable aspect to globalization, but there we create things that are new and solve problems and create new solutions. I, as one of the 230 million third culture kids, and a member of the 1 million international students that are here studying in the US, and amazed by the impact of globalization, and I'm thankful for the emergence of new ideas through cultural integration. Thank you.